G'day guys, Dean from Blog for the Blood God here, and today I wanted to show you a way to make a completely 100% unfailable Turn 1 charge. Before I do that, however, I wanted to also introduce you to a new feature that YouTube has brought out called the Super Thanks. This is a way that you can show your support for the channel without having to go through Patreon or go through any other source. All you have to do is down below you'll see a Super Thanks button. It's like a little love heart with a $sign in it, and you can basically use that to make one-off donations attached to a comment. So if you want to show your support for the channel, if you think this video is worthwhile or you've gotten anything out of any of my previous videos and you want to show your support, you can throw a donation in there. It can be as little as $1 or you can go up as high as you want to go. And basically it's a pay per video sort of thing, completely voluntary. I don't expect this from anybody. However, any donations that I do receive are greatly appreciated as they're going to help me continue to improve on this channel, grow, get better equipment, get better guests on, get better features, do all kinds of different stuff, increase the frequency of the content, increase the time that I'm able to put into research and development for the various content that I do produce. So every dollar that comes my way is greatly appreciated and is definitely not wasted and will go to making this channel bigger and better every single time. So with that being said, let's get into this video about how to create a 100% unfailable Turn 1 charge.
Blog for the Blood God.
Alrighty, all you need to pull off this trick is a Master of Possession, a unit of 9 Chaos Space Marine Infantry, and a Dreadclaw. Alright, now you can do this with pretty much any Chaos Space Marine Infantry that you want, provided they don't have jump packs, Terminator armor, or be possessed. So my favorite pick is the Noise Marines, however, other common picks are the Legionnaires and Chosen. Alrighty guys, so for this example, we've set up a mixed Demons and Death Guard list. So we can imagine they've got a couple of Plague Burst Crawlers, they've got some Plague Bearers in front, they've got a character behind. Realistically, it doesn't matter what your opponent brings. There's not much they can do to stop you from pulling off this trick. So what you're gonna do is turn 1, you're gonna bring down your Dreadclaw, so that he's just over 9 inches away from your opponent. So you basically got to leave enough room for the unit to disembark out the front, and the unit's still outside of that 9 inches from these two units. All right, now that the Dreadclaw has arrived, you're going to disembark your Noise Marines. And you do this turn 1, so that every model that disembarks is within 3 inches of wholly within 3 inches of the vehicle, obviously. So they're going to disembark like that. And the Master of Possessions, he's going to disembark as well, making sure that he's within 3 inches of the Noise Marines. So that's your disembarkation move. Now you're going to go into your Psychic phase. So this is where it gets tricky. First, you're going to do D3 mortal wounds to that Noise Marine unit in order to get +2 to the casts on that Master of Possession. So we're going to do D3. So we did 2 mortal wounds there, which is enough to kill one of the Noise Marines. But hypothetically, it is possible that you only do 1 mortal wound. So let's pretend that we rolled a 1. So we've done 1 mortal wound to those Noise Marines, and then we're going to cast Mutated Invigoration, for example. Cool, that goes off because we get +2 to our cast, so they're now got plus toughness, so they're toughness 5 now, which is cool. And now we're going to do our second power. We're going to do another D3 mortal wounds. So again, we've done 2 here. However, even if we rolled another 1, that would still be sufficient to kill one of these Noise Marines. All right, so he's dead. Now, we're going to do Pact of Flesh, which goes off on a 5. You might want to CP reroll that to get a higher roll so that your opponent's less likely to deny you, but either way, you're still going off. And that allows you to resurrect this model, and you basically place him forward so that he is within 2 inches of these front 2 models. And that now means that he is within 6 inches of this Plague Bearer. So now, when you go to do your charge, so in your shooting phase, this unit's now going to shoot, and they're probably going to evaporate this unit of Plague Bearers, for example, right? So they're now dead. Now you're going to do your charge, and what you're going to do is you're going to spend 1 CP to honor the Prince, which means instead of rolling 2d6, you roll 1d6 and add 6 to the result. So we're going to go boom, so we rolled a 6, so that's now a 12-inch charge, which means that they could get all the way and touch this. They can't allocate attacks to it because they weren't within 12 inches of that vehicle. However, what you could do in this situation is go, cool, he's going to move 12 inches to there. He's going to move 12 inches to there. He's going to move to there. So on and so forth. Maintaining that coherency as best as possible. And then these guys are just going to move in the front. Master possessions, he won't make the charge. And then basically when you fight, these guys will now all get to pile in, which is going to allow this guy to pile in that direction. This guy's going to pile in to touch that. They're going to pile in to keep coherency. They're going to pile in around like this. And basically you're going to do it so that that guy's within 2 inches of these two. He's within 2 inches of those. He's within 2 inches of those, so on and so forth. So as long as you essentially have two triangles at the end of the line, you're good to go with coherency. Now when you fight, these 6 guys here are going to be able to fight the plague bearers, and you make sure that your champion, if he has an accursed weapon or anything like that, you make sure he's one of the ones doing the fighting. You spend some strats perhaps, and you kill a bunch of these, maybe not all of them, but a bunch. And then you do your consolidate moves, which is now going to let you touch that, and then move these guys up into your opponent's deployment zone. So now you've done a first turn charge, you've tagged their 2 vehicles so they're not able to shoot downrange at the rest of your army, you've killed a couple of units of infantry in the process, and you've got objective secured models in your opponent's deployment zone. Really, really powerful. Now with this 6 that I rolled, obviously that's a high roll. However, even if I had just rolled a 1, I would have been able to touch that unit because as we said at the start of the charge phase, I was within 6 inches. Which means I only need to roll a 5 on the dice and on a 2d6, but with the Honor the Prince, it's a 6 plus d6, which means the minimum I could possibly roll is a 7, and the total that I needed was a 5. So there's no way that you can fail it. So this is a 100% guaranteed, unfailable turn 1 charge. There are a few things that can cause you problems. For example, if you fail the psychic power. However, giving those +2 to cast from his sacrificial dagger makes that extremely unlikely, especially if you factor in a command point reroll. It becomes like a 99.9% chance that you're going to pass that power. The other things that can cause you headaches are if your opponent has the ability to deny those psychic powers, because denying either one of them can be quite a problem, particularly the Pact of Flesh, because that's what allows you to resurrect a model closer to your opponent. So there's a few things that can go wrong if your opponent plays it well and if your opponent has the tools to deal with you. However, 90% of the armies out there, you're going to be able to pull this trick off, and it's very, very powerful. So that is the unfailable Chaos Space Marine Turn 1 Deep Strike Charge. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you want to support the channel, you can do so over on Patreon. I've got various different tiers where you can get one-on-one coaching, you can get list advice and mentorship, as well as access to a private Discord channel where we all sort of have a bit of a community building there. It's a great place to make friends and to sort of interact with our little local community, so that's a great place to do that. You also get one-on-one access with me, so if you want to talk through specifics of your list, or if there's a specific matchup that's causing you grief and certain people you're not able to beat, I can help tailor your list towards sort of fixing those problems and shoring up any weaknesses, and also just more overall sort of stuff with 40k and tournaments and that sort of stuff. So there's plenty of value there. Or if you want to, you can pick up a set of the neoprene objective markers, and I get a small amount of every one of those sold. So that's another way that you can show your support for the channel whilst getting something for yourself. So either way you want to show your support, more than welcome, and I very much appreciate it. Or you can do a super thanks and put a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, that'd be also very much appreciated. So with that being said, we'll cut it off here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.
Look for the blood god.
The Warhammer community suffers from some of the most prohibitively expensive essentials in the world, especially Australian content creators. Every single day, Dean wants to create content, but he can't. Suffering from old, worn-out brushes, expensive model kits, and costly software and equipment he can't endure much longer. Just look at this dirty paint water. Would you drink this? Would you let your child? Even a small monthly donation can help provide Dean with clean paint water, basic tools for survival, and access to life-saving information and education. So please, follow the links in the description below and find out how you can sponsor a mad cunt like Dean today and end the suffering. Suffering that is cruel, unsustainable, and your fault.
Do your objective markers ever get lost behind terrain or other models and become difficult to see? Do they ever get bumped and accidentally moved during a game? And do they ever spark arguments about distances? Well, not anymore. Introducing the blog for the blood god, not even remotely patented neoprene objective markers. Made from the same material as astronaut suits, or maybe military equipment, or probably neither of those things, this 2mm thick neoprene synthetic rubber is tear resistant, water resistant, and is designed to last. But that's not all. The blog for the blood god, not even remotely patented neoprene objective markers come in a variety of different designs and styles to suit any faction represented in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. These objective markers are a perfect gift for yourself or a friend, and are a perfect way to flex and show your opponent that not only are you a smarter, cooler, and better 40k player than them, but you also have more disposable income than they do. For the low price of $25, you'll get not one, not two, but 6 neoprene objective markers, perfectly designed for 9th edition Warhammer 40k. But wait, there's more. For a limited time only, people who sign up on Patreon to support Blog for the Blood God as a Skull Champion tier $5 per month member will gain access to a custom design service where I will design a unique logo to support their gaming club, like the one I did to the left here for the Potato Farmers local gaming club here in Melbourne. Follow the links in the description of this video to pick up your set today.